For eons far beyond counting, humankind has struggled with the only question that matters. Who among the Critical Role cast drips the hardest? Whomst among them carries the most moisture within their clothing? Who rolls into the club as though they just jumped in a lake? And who walks in bone dry? You'll also note that I'm wearing the adequate protective gear for a video like this, because if you're going to make a video talking about how other people dress and which of them are the most stylish, the only way to avoid anyone harassing me about my own lack of drip in the comments is just to wear a suit. It protects me. It's actually in the rules. Suits actually give you protection from drip critique damage. It's on page 217 of the player's handbook. You looked it up? No, it's in the Canadian version of the rules. You don't have them where you are. Now, I am aware that there is a gigantic fatal flaw to this whole video concept. All of these people are Hollywood voice actors. Even the worst dressed amongst them has far more drip than your average human being. So let it be known that this list is purely comparative between the group of them. If someone ranks at the very bottom, that still doesn't mean they're badly dressed. They're probably better dressed than I am. With that in mind, let's get into it. Ashley Johnson. So, in my personal, subjective, however, absolutely perfect and correct opinion, I believe that Ashley Johnson's clothing choices are very heavily indicative of, a lot of hard work goes into this. However, I kind of get this just like, yeah, that's just how a Hollywood actress dresses. I don't kind of think that most people, and maybe I'm having some difficulty with this because I'm a male and my gauge of female fashion is a little bit worse than it is at men's fashion, but I kind of get the vibe that like most people are gonna look at Ashley Johnson and be like, yeah, she's very well put together, that's a good look, but not too many people are gonna be like inspired, like, ooh, I could do that. And there's a whole lot of people on this list that are very much trendsetters, which puts Ashley Johnson behind a lot of them. So even though Ashley Johnson is very competently well put together and puts a lot of effort into it, I just don't think anything really grabs you in the way she dresses. So I'm gonna rate Ashley Johnson's drip as just a greater drip elemental. That's it. Just, second to the top. She's very well dressed. She puts a lot more effort into her clothing than a lot of people on this list, especially the guys. And the result is just that, she's got a pretty typical Hollywood actress wardrobe. So Laura Bailey is very much a different situation in that she very clearly puts, I don't know, like, it doesn't feel like she puts all that much effort into her drip. However, man, does her clothing ever, like, punch way above its weight. And I see lots of people on Twitter just commenting, just like, oh, she wore the cutest sweater, suspenders, whatever, on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of people just look at how effortless her drip is and just go, man, I want that to be me, and they'll try and like take fashion tips. That is a big deal. So even though I believe that, say, Ashley Johnson has very competently put together clothing, it doesn't have that like effortless style that Laura Bailey does. So Laura Bailey is gonna get ranked pretty highly on this list. We're gonna put her as an elder drip elemental. It is pretty hard to beat Laura Bailey. Liam O'Brien. This is one of those ones where I have not thought too hard about where I'm gonna put him. Let's think. So Liam O'Brien is really cool, but I think the coolness of Liam comes from his personality, not so much his clothing. I think that, there are times when he has some of these cooler outfits. I think this, like, what's that, like a red or a purple shirt that is on the left? Like, I think that's pretty cool, and he's often doing a pretty good, like, cardigan look, like a nice dark cardigan in a lot of things, and he pulls it off really well. However, at other times, like this middle one, you know, he kind of misses, in my opinion. Like, this is, like, that middle picture is, like, identical to the kind of outfits I wore when I was, like, 9 in the early 2000s. So, you know, I think he's got a good style, but sometimes he really misses. So with that in mind, we're just gonna put him as a medium. You know, he's got a good look, but he doesn't always pull it off. Marisha Ray. So the thing with Marisha's clothing choices is they contrast a little bit with, say, Ashley Johnson's. Because with Marisha, I think they put in similar amounts of effort and competence into their wardrobe. However, you know, Ashley's, I don't get much personality from her wardrobe, is I think my big sticking point. It just feels like actress clothing. Whereas Marisha, I definitely get a lot more personality from her. It feels, you know, I think maybe these, like the two of these pictures are probably not a great example, but the one on the right probably is. She's kind of got this sort of like intrepid, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but she's got this kind of action-y look to a lot of her clothing, and I've used this word too much, but it's competently put together. It's very well done. So I think I'm going to put Marisha, you know, on the same level, but like at the top of Greater Drip Elemental. She, like, Ashley's only a little bit behind, but, you know, Marisha does pull ahead because I think her clothing contains a bit more personality. Oh, Matt Mercer. We know where he's gonna go. Alright, look, I will admit that I'm not always crazy about what Matt wears to D&D sometimes. You know, sometimes I just feel like he misses a little bit. However, he has personally set the trend. He is the reason that Dungeons & Dragons players all wear leather bracelets. He has set the trend. All male D&D players are attempting to dress like Matt Mercer, so where else could I put him? He's Elder Drip Elemental, okay? Hands down. Now, the part that's interesting is, does he have better drip than Laura Bailey? And I wish I had thought about it before right now. I am going to say that Laura Bailey is the drippier of the two. She has the moistest clothing because she is consistently pulling off these new iconic looks, whereas Matt, he kind of just has the one thing he has given us. He has given us, you know, his like long sleeve shirts and bracelets. There's not a lot of variance there, whereas with Laura Bailey, there's a lot of variance. Okay, you know, where else am I gonna put Robbie? Like, where else would he be? This is the drippiest dude in the whole show. This may be the drippiest dude I have ever seen. Look, this dude no longer just has drip. He no longer has, like, the moistest clothing on Critical Role. His clothes were just, like, straight up dunked in the river, okay? Robbie is a fashion icon, and that no one is going to beat him. That's a spoiler for the list. No one is going to beat Robbie. You already knew that the second you saw that he was in the list of candidates. You knew Robbie was top of the list, okay? No arguments. I have no arguments. I accept no arguments. Robbie, top of the list. He is the drippiest. He is the elderest of the Elder Drip Elementals. Moving on. Okay, 3 left. Sammy boy. Where do I put Sammy boy? Sam is a difficult case because on a day-to-day basis, when you see him just show up to various things, he's basically just doing the I'm a guy in a t-shirt kind of thing, which, you know, just being some guy in a t-shirt, that's not really drip. And sometimes he makes the, you know, slight extra effort. You know, sometimes he'll put on a button-down shirt, but that's kind of the end of it. No accessories, no nothing, just just a button-down shirt, it's okay, I guess. However, the thing that complicates this is that, like we see in this middle image here, like, when he puts together a proper outfit for like a photo shoot, he becomes a proper drip king again. However, you know, in this land where everyone is already dressed better on a day-to-day basis than Sam, and then at photo shoots, you know, Sam is dressed up more than usual, but so is everybody else. So Sam's extra drip on photo shoot days isn't really gonna save him. Alright, I'm sorry, you are a small drip elemental, Sam. I love you, you have other qualities. No hard feelings. You have a lot of great things about you. Your drip is not one of them. Sorry. Talison. So, Talison is... You know, they're all... I think I've said all of them are tricky cases at this point, but, you know, Talison is an extra tricky case. Have I said they're all extra tricky cases? Well, if so, he's an extra tricky case. So the particular thing with Talison is that Talison has a really cool aesthetic. He's got this like punk rock thing going on, and he pulls it off quite well, in my opinion, when he's actually wearing it. You probably understand the fatal flaw when I say that sentence. When he wears it, he is very, very drippy, but he is not usually wearing it. He is kind of on a day-to-day basis. He's got this cool aesthetic, and he doesn't usually wear it. So I'm going to put him as a medium drip elemental because he definitely has more of an aesthetic that is like consistent beyond like I just show up everywhere in a jeans and a t-shirt. Like, he's got a look, he just doesn't usually wear it, so that's not going to take him very far. Travis. Travis is where I break some of my own rules. So, I said earlier that Sam Riegel's not gonna get away with just, you know, jeans and a t-shirt everywhere. But Travis does kind of get away with wearing jeans and a t-shirt everywhere. Now, I know, I'm breaking everything I just said. Just hear me out, okay? Because, like, it's different. I'm not a hypocrite, all right? Travis has this like Hollywood tough guy, stunt guy kind of aesthetic going on, and he wears like the ideal fit and color and pattern of t-shirt to like pull that off, okay? I'm not backpedaling. You're backpedaling, all right? I'm putting him here in large drip elemental behind Liam O'Brien, okay? He is a large drip elemental, and you'll just have to accept it. I'm on Team Jox Machina, and you're just gonna have to accept it. Now, there is one person out of the bunch that can actually beat Robbie for the most drip. Do you know who it is? Well, obviously the only person with more drip than Robbie is Laura, dressed as Robbie. Alright, that's everything. Thanks everybody for watching. Just kind of a bite-sized video this week. Like and subscribe. I've got a much bigger video coming again next week. I just needed something a little bit light right now while I do a bunch of research and catch up on scripting and stuff. So yeah, I will see you next week, and I hope you enjoyed a small little bite-sized video.